So I've only been in about 2,000 or 3,000 houses since then. You know.
Well, anyways.
So I don't know what you're trying to accomplish. I guess that's my question.
Trying to expose fraud is what we're trying to accomplish.
Then go talk to Bremer Bank.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think they did the appraisal though.
Yeah, they hired people to do the appraisal, which obviously, you know, you guys were between a rock and a hard place trying to.
All I'm going to say to you, and then I'm done, okay? And I'd like you to leave my
Sure.
office because I'm very disappointed in that.
Okay.
To say the least. And I want to know from an attorney that you didn't tell me that we were taping. Is illegal.
Minnesota.
I don't agree.
I don't need to have anyone's permission to tape as long as I know I'm taping.
Huh?
I can't leave a recorder here and record the conversation after I leave.
No. I would disagree.
Well,
but
you know
anyway,
what? I have a whole YouTube channel full of videos of me in dealing with.
YouTube doesn't mean squat to me.
Well, I came sailing across. Yeah.
Right on the nose. I like fall, but it leads to winter. That's not as much fun.
Well, Minnesota's one of those four seasons places.
Yeah.
You either love it or leave it. So.
Right, exactly.
But I guess there's plenty of people that leave it in the winter time. So.
Yeah, my grandparents are one of them. They go to Arizona, luckily.
Sure.
Hi.
Hi, are you Lee Back?
I'm Lee. Yes, I am.
Oh.
Well, sometimes he is. If someone
calls
hey
us.
Lee, will you get the phone?
If it's scandal, then it ain't me.
Right. That's how my wife, when somebody says, because obviously her last name is Bacchus, and then she'll say, well, how are you related to Lee Bacchus? And then she'll say, well, it depends on how well you know him.
Yeah.
If it's trouble or not.
Right.
I was wondering if you
Terry Numbers.
Terry Nemmers.
Yep.
Okay.
Heard
I
anything?
didn't catch your first name.
Kathy Tangen.
Kathy Tangen.
Just wondering.
Scandal.
You ever heard of anything like this about Bremer Bank inflating their appraisals to match loans that people are asking for?
Have I ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Well, USPAP, which is our regulatory services, that's one of their concerns. I mean, that's part of their regulation.
Okay, I'll have them call you right back.
You know, so what I'm trying to say is that USPAP says an appraiser is to provide an independent, unsolicited, unbiased, understandable, non-misleading.
But everybody
appraisal.
knows back in 2006 they had a lot of pressure from the banks to perform.
Yeah, now there's a point.
Yeah.
Now we appraisers, and I'm not going to mention the names of the banks, but there's a couple banks, when I even accept an order, it will ask several questions, one of which, do you have any interest in the property? And I can't remember the other ones. There's a couple of, but basically, what do you know about the property already?
Sure.
Or
do you have a vested interest in the deal?
Vested interest, or do you know Mr. and Mrs. Johnson,
Right.
or whatever?
Right.
So that's where that's at. And then now even, one company in particular, when I'm going to email or electronically transfer the report to them, it will ask, did anybody try to influence you at all during the process
Sure.
of the appraisal?
Sure.
But that's now
So-
what was then. What was.
Yeah, right. There wasn't, it was almost a free-for-all.
Yeah.
I
Back
mean,
then it was.
Right.
I've
Well-
been in this business since 1998, and well, and then they've been trying to take some steps. One of which is since 2000 and
Because basically, if you didn't perform for the bank, you didn't have a job.
exactly. Yeah, I mean we were fee based, and yeah, I mean we rely on continued business, shall we say?
Yeah.
Here's the question I always asked my boss when I first even got into this, because I worked for another gentleman that's still appraising houses here in town. I said to him, don't we have this whole process backwards? And he said, what do you mean? I said, well, rather than the bank calling us and saying,
Do an appraisal.
do an appraisal of Joey Jones's house, and Mr. Jones thinks that his house, his county EMV is 125. He thinks his house is worth 135. Okay, so already they're trying to get you into this mindset of, this is what we're thinking.
Right.
Because I said, why doesn't the bank hire us, independently go out and appraise the house, and then come back, grab the paperwork, and then say, Mr. and Mrs. I'm not being recorded or anything, am I?
Yeah, I'm recording this.
Okay. Well,
Because we're trying to find out why there's an appraisal of $202,000 that comes from your office on, let's see, October 9th, 2006. And this guy here, a Benjamin Felling,
4 years later.
which he does a retro appraisal
Okay.
for 10/19/2006.
You know that for you to be able to use any accessibility by taping this, it's illegal unless you'd had told me.
No, I'm afraid not.
Well, I'm not going to. I mean, I don't know what you're trying to accomplish. I guess maybe that's my question.
Well, I guess so what we're trying to figure out what you're trying to accomplish with this appraisal that's...
Well, let me ask you this question. Do you think the market changed any from 2006 to
This is-
2010?
This is before the bubble,
Okay.
all right?
You think
But this
the bubble
is-
was at the...
But the point is, this is a retro appraisal for 10/19/2006, all right?
Same time.
And this guy was not told what the situation of the house was. He was just told to do a straight appraisal of the house.
It's $108,000 difference.
Right.
I can't speak to somebody else's appraisal.
Well, the thing is, there's another appraisal that she has that she's digging up, trying to find, that's even less than this one. So
I
there's,
really don't appreciate your not telling me that you're taping this conversation. I mean, I think that is about as low as a person can get.
well, I think it's
No.
kind of low when someone does an appraisal.
No, that's not true, because take the appraisal, do you have
Yeah.
a copy of the appraisal? And take a look at the comparables that I would have used to arrive at an
It has
appraisal.
no bedrooms. It's a glorified garage, actually,
That might be your opinion.
for 200.
Well, she lived there, so I think she should know.
That's about 6 years ago, so I've only been in about 2,000 or 3,000 houses since then. You know,
Well, anyways.
so I don't know what you're trying to accomplish. I guess that's my question.
Trying to expose fraud is what we're trying to accomplish. you
Then
know?
go talk to Bremer Bank.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think they did the appraisal, though.
Yeah, they hired people to do the appraisal, which obviously, you guys were between a rock and a hard place trying to.
All
keep
I'm going to
up.
say to you, and then I'm done, okay? And I'd like you to leave my
Sure.
office, because I'm very disappointed in that,
Okay.
to say the least. And I want to know from an attorney that you didn't tell me that we were taping is illegal.
Minnesota.
I don't agree.
I don't need to have anyone's permission to tape as long as I know I'm taping.
Huh?
I can't leave a recorder here and record the conversation after I leave.
No. I would disagree.
Well,
But
you know what?
anyway,
I have a whole YouTube channel full of
I don't
videos of
care
me
what
in
YouTube-
dealing with.
YouTube doesn't mean squat to me.
Well, tell you what, you call down to Chad the Felon Larson down there, your county attorney. He knows exactly who I am.
Okay, what's
See?
your name?
My name is Terry Dean Nemmers.
Let's write that down.
320.
Just a second. But, okay, I want to finish with this.
Go ahead.
Before I ask you to leave.
Sure.
I'm going to say that you take a look at the appraisal, and do you know the appraisal process? Do you know how an appraisal is done, and under what rules and
Well, actually,
regulations?
Well, I'm not an appraiser.
Well, okay then.
All we know is the
And
numbers
look
here.
at the comps.
Yeah,
That's what
well,
I'm saying. Is look at the comps.
Yeah.
We have to use market data within the last 12 months.
But it's really convenient that I went into the bank looking for a $156,000
Nemmers?
loan.
Nemmers, 2 M's. Do you want me to write it for you?
No, that's fine.
No, it's Nemmers.
And
Emmers. Terry is my first name. Terry. Dean, Dean, 320-283-5713. You can call down and talk to Troy Warbison. I'll guarantee you he knows exactly who I am. You can talk to the county attorney. He knows who I am. You can talk to Leverson's office. They know who I am. I guarantee you all sorts of important people around
does
here know
Bremer
who I
Bank
am.
know that you're out doing this too?
Yeah.
Who did you speak to at the Bremer Bank?
I've been
Haven't been talking to
Not
him
today.
recently.
there a couple
Okay.
years ago.
We already made one stop, and
Well, I guess I'll find out from them if what you did today
But it's
is.
a big difference.
That's fine. I have no problem with that.
$108,000. It's a big, huge.
I can't
huge
speak to somebody
difference.
else's appraisal. And all I'm telling
know
you
the
is that you
fact
that-
probably should study up on how an appraisal is done.
Well, I wouldn't study out. It's just like being a
Well,
doctor.
the thing
Unless
is-
I'm going to be a doctor, I won't go study.
the thing is that your comps for this newer
they
one,
use the same figures.
yeah. The thing is
Use
he
the
used
same comps.
he used different homes
Okay.
than yours.
Okay.
See, And the thing
But
is,
homes that were based on no bedrooms, because even on your report you listed as like a 3-bedroom home. There's no bedrooms in it.
Okay.
It's a glorified garage.
Well, that's
So-
fine. I mean,
But
that's your
see,
opinion.
but you were used as a lackey for the bank.
As a lackey for the bank, what do you mean? I don't know why we're having this discussion, because I mean,
Because it needs to get exposed.
well then
you
expose
know?
it.
You know, it really needs to get exposed.
I
but-
mean, this happened 7 years ago, and you're expecting me to talk to the issue right now, today, 7 years later?
You know how much foreclosure problem there is today because of 2006?
No, I don't. I'm totally unaware of that. Totally, I don't follow the market at all.
I think he's being sarcastic
Yeah,
here, so.
I
Well,
thought so. But
Wouldn't you? If somebody came in and started recording your conversation without giving you any information
so far there hasn't been
and asking me
anything.
questions that I can't answer to somebody else's.
Well, if we could come
situation.
in and bring in the appraisal that
I
was
have
done.
an electronic copy of every appraisal I've done since
No,
I
I
went
mean
off on
the
my
appraisal
own.
that's way lower. Would you be able to speak to that?
I don't have time for that. In case you're wondering, right now the interest rates are quite low and basically working day to night.
Well, I'm
So,
sure you're a hardworking person
thank
that
you.
was used by the bank.
Thank
know,
you.
That's what happened, Well,
I hope you're
anyways,
proud of yourselves. I don't care.
I have absolutely nothing to be ashamed of, so.
Well,
All right, you
that's
guys need
obvious.
to leave.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for your time.
So I've only been in about 2,000 or 3,000 houses since then.
Well, anyways,
So I don't know what you're trying to accomplish. I guess that's my question.
trying to expose fraud is what we're trying to accomplish.
Then go talk to Bremer Bank.
Yeah,
Well, I don't think they did the appraisal, though.
yeah, they hired people to do the appraisal, which obviously, you guys were between a rock and a hard place trying to.
All I'm going to say to you, and then I'm done, okay? And I'd like you to leave my
Sure.
office because I'm very disappointed in that,
Okay.
to say the least. And I want to know from an attorney that you didn't tell me that we were taping. It's illegal.
Minnesota,
I don't agree.
I don't need to have anyone's permission to tape as long as I know I'm taping. I can't leave a recorder here and record the conversation after I leave.
No. I disagree.
Well,
But
you know what?
anyway,
I have a whole YouTube channel full of videos of me in dealing with.
YouTube doesn't mean squat to me.
Well.